If you are currently living in Mexico City, whether you've been there for a year or for a decade, and you fully understand what purchasing real estate in Mexico entails, this video is specifically for you. We are seeing a very clear trend in 2026.
Expats and clever investors living in CDMX are relocating part of their capital into Mérida, Yucatán.
Not because Merida is cheap and not because they're abandoning Mexico City, but because this represents a smarter, low-density, capital-efficient strategy inside Mexico.
And today, we're gonna break down exactly why. If you live in Mexico City and have ever thought about diversifying within another city within Mexico, stay with us.
Let's start with reality. If you live in Mexico City, you probably already understand pricing. For a quality apartment in CDMX, something in a modern building, a new build with amenities, a small apartment can range anywhere between 300,000 USD and 600,000 USD. Sometimes it can be significantly more than that. Now we're talking about specific zones here, the zones where most foreign investors are drawn to. Roma, Condesa, Juarez even.
Coyoacán, Santa Fe, Polanco.
Charming parts of the city with walkability, modern niceties, etc. And in new builds. We're talking about a range between 300,000, 600,000 USD. If you're really out there, could be significantly more than that. Now let's compare that with the zone of North Merida in Yucatán.
For the ones that doesn't know that area, look at this map, guys. This is North Merida in Mérida, Yucatán, Mexico, and check it out. This is the equivalent of one of the most modern areas in Mexico City, as we mentioned before. So in these areas, you can find all the conveniences you are used to. High-end shopping malls, supermarkets.
Cafe culture, walkability, modern buildings, modern amenities for a modern, relatively luxurious life. But we're talking about an entry price point, a high-quality two-bedroom apartment in a modern vertical build in North Merida is really much more accessible, coming in somewhere in the low 200,000s, 220 USD, maybe 250, and that's a very, very high-end product.
And we're not talking about tiny, small apartments like the ones you guys know in Mexico City, where we still own an apartment in Mexico City that is just rented out at the moment, and the price per square meter compared with this place is not the same, obviously. And that's why, after knowing all this information now, we took the decision for investing in apartments in Mérida, Yucatán, Mexico.
This is not about properties being cheap. This is a strategic approach to investing and diversifying your Mexican real estate portfolio.
So guys, we're talking about capital efficiency.
Same country, a completely different growth curve. By the way, everyone, we are Meghan and Noe, Mérida Mexico bilingual realtors, and we are specialized in helping, supporting foreign investors navigate the Mexican real estate market. Whether you are looking to buy, sell, or invest, particularly invest in the case of today's video, we are here to guide you and assist you through the entire process and help you make the smartest growth decision for your portfolio.
Guys, we're powered by EXP. And also, please just scan this QR code to reach out to us and just have a conversation about all these smart investments that you can make it happen within Mexico.
So now here's the key question. If you already live in Mexico City and you already understand the market there, would you rather put your next $250,000 into a fully saturated urban core where your rental competition is full force, or into an emerging market in Mexico, a seriously emerging market, with lower density and a long-term runway for growth on your investment?
And you know, guys, what is the most important thing? The safest city in the safest state within Mexico.
That's right.
Mérida, Yucatán, Mexico.
Merida is, I say this all the time to clients, it's like getting in a time machine and going back in time 25 years where your neighbors are friendly, everybody says buenos dias, and you don't have to worry about so much hustle and bustle in your everyday life. This is a very tranquil place and a piece of paradise in Mexico's landscape. It's lesser known, it's lesser explored, and it's on the radar of smart investors today looking to get in at that value-driven price point. $200,000 here, $250,000 will get you something you could never dream of in a different market like CDMX, Monterrey, Guadalajara, any of the other major hubs of investment, even beach towns like Puerto Vallarta or Los Cabos. $250,000 there is going to get you, oh gosh, I don't know, a studio apartment of however many square meters. Here, we're talking about a luxurious two-bedroom, full apartment in a very nice building in a very beautiful zone of the city with amenities, security, landscaping, etc., your dollar goes a lot further here in Yucatan.
And for the ones that doesn't know this beautiful city still, look at this map, guys. Look how close is the city to the beach area. The ocean is literally just 30 minutes away by car. So, I don't know, you can name it. If you compare it with Mexico City, the closest beach is Acapulco, which unfortunately has been experiencing lots of problems and is 3+ hours away. So this is just one of the beauties of Mérida, Mexico.
Yes, as the Hamptons is the playground to Manhattanites.
Or Galveston to Houston.
Right. The Costa Yucateca, or the Emerald Coast, is the playground for Meridinos. Today, though, we're talking specifically about CDMX. So comment down below if that's where you're watching from. We want to get an idea of how many investors out there are already sitting in Mexico City and thinking about Yucatan. I think it's a lot of you.
Okay, CDMX, please comment down below here.
So let's talk about why Mérida is attracting so many investors from CDMX.
Expats living in CDMX, Mérida offers something very different for all our expat clients living in Mexico City / CDMX. Lower density, lower congestion, strong urban planning in the north part of the city.
And that accessibility to the Gulf Coast, like we talked about, the proximity to the beach, proximity to magic towns, proximity to Mayan ruins and the wonders of that world. Everything is so close to Merida. It's the perfect jumping off point for any type of adventure. Now here's something important. Most of the Mexico City buyers that we work with are not just liquidating and selling off everything to relocate to Merida immediately.
No.
They're creating optionality. A second base, a diversification move, or a strategic allocation of resources into a secondary market for real estate.
Yeah, that's right.
These investors are not chasing paradise. They're building leverage.
They're doing smart investments, guys. Let us give you real examples, guys, of how things play out with real examples.
So let's talk about actual products that we sell day in and day out here. Beautiful apartments in different zones of the city.
Mérida 2026 information, guys, listen.
Yeah, this is important. Let's start with Maimara. This is an absolutely beautiful, incredibly well built, with a 19-year builder here in Yucatan, and it's located in North Merida in the Platinum Investment Zone right now of Temazon Norte. These apartments are spacious, 2 bedrooms, most of them, but there are still a few penthouse units available for those who are interested in a bit more luxury, a bit more space, a 2-level rooftop terrace situation. Who doesn't want that? But we're talking about the $230,000 to $240,000 USD for those 2-bedroom units as a starting price point. And these are top-tier quality finishings in an incredible zone for living and investing currently in Merida.
I will relate that project with these very nice high-end apartments in certain areas of Mexico City that are adjacent to Periférico, because as you know, also Mérida has also Periférico, just like in Mexico City, guys. Check these maps, compare. So Maimara is super close to Periférico, and you have very easy access to high-end shopping malls, just like Plaza La Isla, watch, and hospitals, supermarkets, etc. There's a lot of modernity. The area is evolving very fast, and we have plenty of clients happy living there. So yeah.
Yeah, and it's worth noting that at this $230,000 to $240,000 price point, we're talking about a vertical build, modern amenities throughout the property, including an elevator.
Yeah, and very nice amenities.
Also worth noting that Maimara is ready for immediate delivery. It is built, and so for those not wanting to have a lead time on their purchase, want to get it renting immediately, want to use it themselves immediately, this is a perfect option.
The feeling of that place is this very nice modern apartment, but not with the saturation of Mexico City. Is this slower pace of life, more space around, even the air, guys, you know what I'm talking about. So it's just the Mexico City modern condo lifestyle, but in a way quieter area, better areas.
Okay, now let's touch on Altea, which is also available immediately. The project is completed, and this is a very boutique building in the Alta Brisa zone of Merida, which is highly sought after. It's already completely come to fruition. This is not a prospecting zone of real estate. This is a proven, popular neighborhood, consolidated.
This area looks, the neighborhood looks like a lot like Colonia del Valle, like Narvarte, like Coyoacán, Colonia Florida, Insurgentes, you know, those areas. But once again, it's without the car congestion, without the crowds everywhere. So it's that feeling, in that very nice area, guys.
Both of these properties are super familiar feeling to those who are familiar with CDMX and the type of building that exists there. High-end finishings, high-end services in a desirable zone where not only is it convenient to live and do your everyday lifestyle things there now, but as 5 more years pass, as 10 more years pass, those zones will grow your investment exponentially.
Pricing in these ones are around 220,000 USD, guys. That's the entry point. So yeah, this is a very good investment, guys. And if you compare it with Mexico City prices, I mean, look at this video, guys. Look at this pool, look how the apartment looks like. So yeah, it's a no-brainer, this one, in a very good established area in town.
Yeah, the thing that keeps coming to my mind is we were looking at these studio 1-bedroom apartments facing Roma Norte, and these apartments were going for 6 million peso range, low 6 millions. You compare that to a sizable, well-built, like with incredible amenities building in Altea Mérida or in Temazon Norte, 2-bedroom, tons of space, and an incredible living situation for the low 4 million pesos range. It's just kind of a no-brainer for the investors out there that are looking for a little bit more bang for their buck, and in a zone where there's still room for those values to go up. I'm not sure where the ceiling will be for Mexico City. Who knows? That's a prospecting thing. But knowing that what 6 million pesos can buy you here, if you have that 6 million pesos available, let's have a chat, reach out now, and let's talk about what your options look like, because I think you're going to like what you see compared to the CDMX 6 million peso investment. Okay, now let's touch on something that's at an unbelievable price point here these days, and that is Livenza. If you're familiar with the channel, you're probably familiar with the name Livenza, as this is one of our most popular products for investors interested in getting into the Merida market these days. And we're talking about an entry point somewhere around 120,000 USD. Same builders as Maimara, same quality finishings, in fact, the exact same finishings, and in a zone of the city that is unbeatable in terms of return on investment and rentability. People seek out this neighborhood of Chuburna de Hidalgo all of the time because it has the traditional Mexican mercado, your fresh juice, your fresh fruits and vegetables, your carnes, your poultry, etc., all there within 2 blocks walk. You have your pharmacies, you have your regular grocery stores, Walmart is just nearby, you have the cathedral, you have a park, and inside the community of Livenza, you have all of the modern amenities for life that people are looking for, both for themselves to enjoy living there or for a renter.
If you live in Mexico City and you're watching this right now, it's like living in Escandón, you know, San Rafael, Narvarte Oriente. Is this Roma Condesa adjacent neighborhood that is pretty popular, prices make more sense, and you are very close to the Condesa of Mérida, which is Mérida Centro. You know, this area that has all the bars, all the restaurants, all the culture, all the museums, and it's just a 10-minute drive to get there. You just jump in an Uber and you're there in very fast, you know, very quick, just a few minutes. So it's the equivalent of that, and that rings a lot of people's bell. Because actually we took the decision of investing in this place because we know what happens in big cities. We lived in lots of very big cities, and we know what happens with the trendy, cool neighborhood, adjacent neighborhoods around. We know where the growth is going. So that's why this project is so popular.
Yes, Livenza is one of the first higher density projects coming into the Chuburna de Hidalgo neighborhood, and its rentability is going to be second to none because it's offering something that does not exist in this area of town. People are always asking about walkability, and this is one project where you are actually in a walkable neighborhood. You wouldn't need a car to live there. You could use your bicycle, you could walk, you could catch a quick Didi or even the public transit into Centro and end up on Paseo Montejo in less than 10 minutes. So this is an investor's dream. Whether or not you want to spend time there yourself, an entry point at 120,000 USD, you own your property outright. It's a beautiful little apartment and it can start earning income for you right at the end of this year. That's an unbeatable prospect for most of the investors from Mexico City and other parts of North America that we work with today. We have sold a lot of units in there, and Noe is not wrong. We bought one ourselves, so. Oh, Cami.
The project has 12 amenities inside, and I'm just gonna name them very quickly, like a common area pool, a gym, a boardroom, a rooftop, pet zone, etc. So for pet lovers like us, that place makes a lot of sense.
Paddleball courts. One thing to note about Livenza though is that it is 4 separate buildings. It's going to be 132, 133 units total, and they're 3-story walk-ups. So this isn't the modern vertical build. This is a very large lot introducing 4 separate buildings, and actually a lot of clients of ours have bought on the top floor because that is the most effective investment strategy, let's put it that way, the most accessible price points, and they're planning on living there and using this as part of their new Merida lifestyle that involves fitness, getting their steps in, and going up the stairs on a daily basis. So I loved hearing that. I thought that was one of the coolest rationales for being on the top floor that I've ever heard.
Yeah.
Quick question for all of you out there. What is your priority when it comes to investing? Are you thinking more about elevator plus lifestyle or high maximum yield rental returns? I know my priority, but I'd love to hear what you're thinking about down in the comments below.
Comment down below, guys.
Okay, let's talk about investment budgets a little bit more clearly and in a little bit more detail here. Most serious buyers from Mexico City that we work with are operating on a cash budget, obviously first and foremost. That's something important to understand here. That ranges between $200,000, the low $200,000 range, up to $350,000 USD range. This is a very healthy budget for investing in Merida. This will give you a lot of options to explore high-end vertical builds, maybe even a single-family home within a privada in a different zone outside the periférico. But this is a plush budget that will work well. You do have those rare gems like Livenza that we talked about, where the price point is even more accessible than that. $120,000, you own your apartment outright and you can start renting it tomorrow or using it yourself tomorrow. But those are fewer and further between here. If we're talking realistically about the budget that you need to have in Merida these days, $200,000 is where the conversation starts, and the luxury and the amenities, they go up from there.
Yeah. So guys, that's the realistic range for strong vertical projects here in Mérida, Yucatán, Mexico.
If your budget is significantly below that $200,000 price point, realistically, and you know guys, we're always trying to just shoot straight here because we want to be very respectful of everybody's time, budget, needs, all of this. And we just like to keep it real here on this channel. So if your budget is significantly below $200,000, Merida may not be the right market for you to be exploring at this time.
We're bringing the best projects for you guys because we know there's stories, which I would say they're not updated. People talking about prices from 10 years ago or projects.
Honestly, even 3 or 4 years ago, the pricing was different in this market.
Or projects in the middle of nowhere. Mm-hmm. We are bringing to the table the best projects in the best locations. Remember the rule, guys, and repeat with me. Location, location, location. That's what matters here for making sure you are getting a strong return on your investment.
It's true. And this is also a very different conversation than those looking to relocate. Oftentimes, there are many internet personalities out there presenting information about properties that are in the low $100,000 range. Those exist, but A, location may not be exactly what they're being sold as. You may be out in the middle of nowhere and looking at challenges around infrastructure and other issues like that. Secondly, those are properties where you are essentially buying a shell, and you will then need to sink in $40,000, $50,000, $60,000 to add your pool, to add your carpentry, to add your carport that has a cover, because the sun in Yucatán is nothing to scoff at.
Well, some properties doesn't include the water here, guys.
Exactly. There's all sorts of different options of properties that people are promoting on the internet. And so we always like to keep it very real and also not sell headaches and not sell problems. And particularly to an investor persona, you want something easy. You want it turnkey, more or less, and ready to roll, whether it be for yourself or whether it be for rental revenue. Buying something that's then going to require 6 months of work and $60,000 more, that's not an accurate depiction or a smart investment. So that's a completely different ballgame. A relocation is not what we're talking about today. We're talking about people who understand the Mexican real estate market and are looking for something that can offer quite a lot of bang for their buck. And Mérida, Yucatán is that market these days. Now, this is not to be negative. This is to keep things real. This is a market reality. Mérida is no longer cheap Mexico. Merida is strategic investor Mexico. So, in short, to wrap things up here, if you're currently living in Mexico City and you already understand how the Mexican real estate market works, if you're considering reallocating part of your portfolio into a secondary market with lower density, high growth strategy, and high growth possibility, Merida deserves serious consideration today. We work mostly with cash buyers or pre-qualified buyers who have already secured their financing, however they came about that, and they understand the current pricing of the Merida market, or at least they're educating themselves on it, as this video has, and they're taking a serious look at a strategic investment move in Yucatan.
If that's you, guys, and look at my eyes, if that's you, reach out and now read my lips. Merida isn't a cheap escape.
It is a smarter investment allocation.
Okay guys, we will see you in the next video. We are Meghan and Noe, Mérida Mexico Bilingual Realtors, powered by EXP, guys.
Yeah, and stay tuned for more investor-focused content because, well, this is a very exciting market for investors such as ourselves, such as yourself, and we want to make sure that the information is out there in English for those who are not necessarily speaking Espanol, so that you can make smart moves just like we have here in Mérida, Mexico.
Stay tuned, guys, because we're going to release a non-edited video of our personal experience of Meghan and Noe investing down here in Mérida, Yucatán, Mexico.
Until then, guys, don't hesitate to reach out if you want to talk about
Maimara, Altea, Livenza, and so much more that are coming in the future videos. Please just reach out, scan this QR code, and stay tuned for more.
Yeah, let's talk about the right investment move for you. Until next time, guys, hasta luego.
See you soon, investors.